I'm back in my content browser and I'm going to make a new particle system. I'll call this one Fire. And this one, I'm going to start by making some sparks and then I'm going to make some very kind of blobby flame things. With this, I'm going to give you a lot of options. Hopefully you'll like some of them and you'll wind up using some of them. We'll see what you do. So here under the emitter, once again, I'm going to rename the emitter, and in this case, I am planning on having multiple emitters, so this is going to be really useful. This is going to be my spark emitter. Under required, I'm going to change this again to that really basic particle material that I made. It's going to be extremely versatile. And again, the screen alignment I'm going to change over to velocity. Under spawn, I'm not sure what I'm going to need yet, so I will come back to that. Same thing with lifetime, I'm going to leave this alone for a little bit. The initial size, I'm going to make a little bit taller. I want my sparks to be kind of oblong. It's going to make them look more like they're shooting. So I'm going to go maybe, let's see, this is the max. We'll go 2, then 6, then 2, and then for the minimums, I will go 1, 3, 1. And again, my particles get really small, but you can see that now they're all kind of pointy, so that's exciting. Now, their initial velocity is pretty fast, and that's good for sparks. I want my sparks to shoot all over the place. It's still really even, but I'll change that soon. So, I've got this, it's here. I'll keep it in the back of my head. I might change it a little bit, but I'm okay with it for now. The color over life, this is where things start to get exciting. I want my sparks to be really bright. I want them to start out being like a yellow-orangey color, so I'll come in here, get this nice light yellow, and then when they go out, I want them to take on like a reddish color, because yellow is brighter and hotter than red, and you can see that they already look kind of sparky. But we're going to get even more exciting. So under the out value, I'm going to open this up, and you can see I've got red, green, and blue channels available. The red is set to 1. I'm going to change that to 100. And now my sparks are glowing. I'll do the same thing with the out value. This is entirely to taste. If you don't want it to glow on both ends, you don't have to. But now it is super glowy. Hoo-hoo-hoo! Good times! So that takes care of everything in the initial section. Let's see what I can add to this that's going to make it more fun. The first thing that I can add is a light. We'll add that. And now, in addition to looking glowy, it will actually glow. This will create a light effect. The other thing that I can add is under orbit. I'm going to add an orbit, and that's going to cause them to behave in this weird, crazy, chaotic fashion. So that's pretty nifty. The orbit doesn't have a lot of options. You can adjust things. You can try adjusting the offset amounts so that you get more or less. You might like it, you might not. Just like with all of these other things, play around with it and see what you like, because when they work, they are super cool. So those are my sparks. I like them. I think that they look kind of like fireflies. They might be big, there might be too many of them. Let me go back to spawn, and instead of 20 of them, I think 20 is a lot, let's do 5. That's much nicer. I like that better. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm not going to make a thumbnail for it yet, but I am going to try dragging it into my scene, and hopefully I'll be able to get it there. Lovely. I'll just put it on the floor. The floor of my scene is on fire now. And that way I can at least see how big these sparks are in comparison to everything else in the scene. I'll look at them from out here for a second so that I'm not seeing all of my crazy camera effects. They might be a little big. I might go back and make them just a touch smaller, but first I'd like to add my flames. However, it's really nice to be able to see them here in the scene. I can see the effect that the light is having. I can see what the particles are doing, what the orbit is doing. So I'm relatively happy with this. This is a great place for me to stop recording. When I come back, I will make some flames.